Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, imagine, just for a second, what it would be like if you literally had a secret superpower. A power that allowed you to basically read any person's mind, completely understand their deepest emotions, and subtly guide their thoughts and decisions. Whether it's your boss, a close friend, a total stranger, or, hey, even your crush, what if you could make them dance to your tune without them even having a clue it was happening? Well, today, we are decoding the hidden secrets of human behavior. And let me tell you, this isn't magic, my friends. This is pure, calculated psychology. Seriously, I want you to ask yourself right now, do you make your own decisions? You probably think you do, right? You wake up, you choose your clothes, you pick your lunch, you make your life choices. But what if I told you that a lot of those choices aren't fully yours? What if someone else is quietly pulling the strings in the background? Today, we're looking at the actual, real-world tools that master influencers and manipulators use to control the game. Now, before we go any further, a quick but very serious warning. This explainer is strictly for educational purposes only. These psychological tools we're about to cover are incredibly powerful and, frankly, a little dangerous if misused. We are exploring them today so you can recognize them when they're used against you, not so you can abuse them. Because I promise you, once you fully grasp these concepts, you are never going to look at everyday interactions the exact same way again. So, let's uncover these hidden secrets of dark psychology. Okay, let's dive right into this with trick number 5, the reverse trap. There's a simple, undeniable truth about human nature. We always want what's forbidden. If I tell you right now, hey, do not look behind you, your brain immediately wants to look back, right? It's human nature. So if you want a friend to do a task for you, the direct ask, like simply saying, please do this work, often just results in a lame excuse or a flat-out no. But with the reverse trap, you casually say something like, I had some work, but you know what? Leave it. It's way too hard. You probably can't do it anyway. Boom. You just executed a mind hack. You didn't ask them to do it. You actually explicitly told them not to. But this instantly triggers their ego, and suddenly they're fighting tooth and nail to prove to you that they can totally do it. Moving right along, we hit trick number 4, master of choice. You see, true power is never really about forcing people to do things. It's about framing their choices so they truly believe they are the ones in control. Force just creates resistance. Let's say you want a friend to go out with you. If you just ask, hey, want to go out? They might easily say no, just because they aren't in the mood. But instead you frame it like this. Hey, should we go to Pizza Hut or Domino's? Now they have 2 options, but the ultimate result of both of those choices is exactly the same, them going out with you. They pick the pizza, they feel totally empowered by making the choice, but the end result is exactly what you designed from the start. The really crucial takeaway here is that people don't actually want absolute freedom. What they want is controlled freedom. Giving them options keeps their ego perfectly safe. And look, this isn't just some sneaky trick to use on friends. It is used literally everywhere. In retail, when you see a buy one, get one, or buy two, get 50% off sale, marketers are making you feel like a super savvy shopper. But either way, they're getting you to buy their product. Politicians use this exact same framing impartially, across the board, all the time. They'll offer 2 seemingly completely different paths or policies that ultimately lead right back to their desired outcome. And that brings us to trick number 3, the guilty trap. We're dealing with one of the absolute heaviest emotional anchors in human psychology here, guilt. Think about it. When people are pushed, they push back. But when people feel guilty, they silently force their own compliance. They bend entirely on their own, without you ever having to raise your voice. Just imagine a friend has been avoiding you or constantly canceling plans. Instead of getting angry and saying, you never make time for me, which just causes a defensive fight, you simply look at them and say, I understand. If I were important, you'd make time. Wow. You are holding up an incredibly heavy emotional mirror right to their face. And here is exactly how seamlessly that process unfolds. Step 1, you hold up that emotional mirror completely calmly. Step 2, the target looks into it and internalizes all of that guilt. They suddenly realize they've hurt your feelings. And then step 3, the magic happens. They self-correct. They reach out, they desperately explain themselves, and they apologize to you. You didn't force a massive argument. You didn't yell. You simply triggered their guilt, and they yielded entirely on their own. We're nearing the very top of the countdown now with trick number 2, emotional hijack. If you want to really understand human behavior, you absolutely must know this. Humans are fundamentally driven by emotion, not logic. If you can manage to take control of someone's emotions, you effectively snatch the remote control right to their brain. When you just present someone with dry logic and facts, they usually just forget them. The level of control there is super weak. But when you trigger deep emotions like fear, pride, or guilt, People act, they vote, they buy, they move. Again, politicians are absolute masters of this. In speeches, they will often bypass facts entirely just to spark fear or pride, essentially using those intense feelings as a remote control for the voter's brain. In the heat of that emotion, people make snap decisions they might even regret later on, but by then, the game is already over. And this brilliantly illustrates the core psychological rule we are discussing today. People don't remember the logic you gave them. They remember how you made them feel. It's so true. If you want to influence someone deeply, do not waste time arguing with their logic. Speak directly to their feelings. Master their emotions, and you literally master their mind. And finally, we have reached the climax of our countdown. Trick number 1, the power of silence. Now, it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? We usually assume the loudest, most aggressive person in the room holds all the power. But the ultimate psychological weight actually comes from doing absolutely nothing at all. Think back to when you made a big mistake as a kid. When mom yells, it's loud, sure, but it's expected. You can manage it, your brain totally knows how to process that noise. But dad's silence? Just one cold look and 0 words? What happens? Your body physically freezes. Why? Because silence is genuinely terrifying. When there are no words filling the air, your own brain starts racing, overthinking, and punishing you far worse than any yelling ever could. So how exactly do you use this? Well, here are the actionable steps straight from our source. Want to extract the truth from someone? Don't beg them to tell you. Don't plead. Just look them dead in the eye, say, I know everything, and then stay completely, totally quiet. The silence breeds this immense discomfort and anxiety. Want to win an argument? Don't shout. Maintain strong eye contact. Smile just a little bit and simply wait. The result? The other person's points begin to sound super weak in their own head. They start doubting their own words, and eventually, the sheer awkwardness of the silence breaks them. The true power always belongs to the one who observes. Which brings us to our final lingering question. Now, whose hands really hold the control? Throughout this entire explainer, we've seen how the illusion of free will is meticulously crafted through reverse traps, framed choices, crushing guilt, emotional hijacks, and the deafening power of silence. The source material actually challenges you to take a 7-day challenge to observe these exact tactics happening in your own daily life and to use that awareness to build a powerful, more observant new version of yourself. So the very next time you find yourself in a conversation, look closely. Are you really making the choice, or has the choice already been made for you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll see you next time.